been eating 6 eggs a day for months. You're consistent, you're disciplined, you're doing exactly what every fitness page told you to do, and your muscles look exactly the same as they did in January. The eggs are not the problem. Believing eggs are enough, that's the problem. And after 40, that mistake is costing you more than just muscle. Here's what's actually happening. You're only getting a fraction of the protein you actually need. 6 eggs gives you roughly 36 to 42 grams of protein. That sounds like a lot until you do the math. A man who weighs 180 pounds and trains seriously needs between 130 and 180 grams of protein per day to actually build muscle, not maintain it, build it. 6 eggs covers maybe 25% of that on a good day. The mechanism is simple. Muscle protein synthesis, the actual cellular process of building new muscle tissue, requires a sustained amino acid pool throughout the day. You can't front-load it with eggs at breakfast and coast. The body doesn't work that way. It needs consistent supply across every meal, every few hours, all day. The dose, at least 35 to 40 grams of complete protein per meal, 3 to 4 times a day. 6 eggs is 1 meal, not a strategy. The eggs are not the problem. The eggs are just not the toolbox. They're one tool. And right now, you're trying to build a house with a single hammer. 2, the yolk is doing more work than you think, and you might be throwing it away. The yolk contains cholesterol. Dietary cholesterol is the direct precursor to testosterone synthesis. Your Leydig cells use cholesterol to manufacture testosterone. No cholesterol input, no raw material for the process. After 40, your testosterone production is already declining at roughly 1% per year. You don't have the margin to be eating egg whites and throwing the yolk in the trash. The dose, whole eggs. Every time. Non-negotiable. 2 to 3 yolks minimum per sitting if you're eating eggs at all. One pencil neck researcher published a half-baked study in 1984. The media ran with it for 40 years. And an entire generation of men threw away the best part of the egg. 40 years of wasted testosterone. Congratulations to everyone involved. 3. Leucine is triggering muscle protein synthesis, but only if you're eating the eggs correctly. Leucine is the amino acid that flips the switch on the mTOR pathway. That's the cellular mechanism that tells your body to actually start building muscle tissue. The threshold is approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to trigger a meaningful anabolic response. 1 egg contains roughly 0.5 grams of leucine. 6 eggs gives you 3 grams total for the day. Here's the problem. If you eat those 6 eggs all at once, you hit the threshold. But nobody does that. You eat 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 whenever. Each individual meal lands below the activation point. The switch never fully flips. You're getting amino acids without getting the signal. The dose, 3 to 4 whole eggs per meal, combined with another leucine-rich source. Cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, a piece of meat. That's how you actually hit the threshold consistently across the day. If you're over 40, this matters even more. Anabolic resistance, the reduced sensitivity to leucine signaling that comes with age, means you need more leucine per meal than a 25-year-old to get the same response. The bar is higher. The eggs alone don't clear it. Act accordingly. Here's what nobody in the fitness space is connecting for men over 40. Muscle and joints are not separate problems. They are the same problem. When your joints ache, your knees, your shoulders, your lower back, you train less. When you train less, you build less muscle. When you build less muscle, your joints have less support and structural stability around them. The cycle feeds itself, and it feeds itself faster every year after 40. Eggs are excellent for muscle protein synthesis. They are nearly useless for the connective tissue that holds your joints together. The cartilage, the tendons, the ligaments. That tissue is made of collagen. Collagen is built from a completely different set of amino acids than the ones eggs provide. After 40, your collagen production drops steadily, at the same time as your testosterone. 2 systems degrading in parallel. Most men are addressing neither. The rest of this list fixes both. 4. Glycine, the amino acid your 6 eggs have almost none of. Glycine is the primary amino acid in collagen. It makes up roughly 1/3 of the entire collagen molecule. Your body uses it to repair cartilage, rebuild tendon tissue, and maintain the structural integrity of every joint you're currently loading in the gym. Eggs contain almost no glycine. Egg protein is optimized for muscle. It is not optimized for connective tissue. These are different biological structures with different amino acid requirements, and the fitness industry has been pretending they're the same thing for 30 years. The dose, 3 to 5 grams of glycine daily. You get this from bone broth, 1 to 2 cups, from gelatin, or from collagen peptides. Not from eggs, not from protein powder, from the foods that actually contain it. For men over 40 specifically, your joints are telling you something every time they ache after a session. They're not asking for more ibuprofen. They're asking for glycine. Start listening. The supplement industry would put this in a black bottle, give it a name with an X in it, charge you $60, and put a jacked guy on the label. It's bone broth. It costs $3. What I just covered explains the joint pain. What's coming next explains why your testosterone keeps dropping despite doing everything right. Stay with me. 5. The hormone your eggs cannot deliver in the dose you actually need. Vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's a steroid hormone. It directly regulates testosterone production, muscle fiber recruitment, and the inflammatory response in your joints. One egg yolk contains roughly 40 IU of vitamin D. To move from deficient to optimal, most training men need 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day. At 40 IU per yolk, you would need to eat between 50 and 100 eggs daily to get there from eggs alone. I'm not recommending that. I'm telling you eggs were never your vitamin D source. They never were. The dose: 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, taken with the fat-containing meal for absorption. This is the cheapest testosterone and joint inflammation intervention available. It costs less than $1 a week. Men over 40 who train indoors, which is most of you, are almost universally deficient. Low vitamin D means lower testosterone, slower muscle recovery, and higher systemic inflammation in the joints you're already stressing every session. Your doctor probably didn't flag it on your last panel. That doesn't mean it's not happening. The specific amino acid that explains why your joints hurt, your recovery is slower than it used to be, and your muscle gains have stalled despite doing everything right. Coming up right now. 6. Proline and hydroxyproline, the joint muscle connection your protocol is completely ignoring. Here it is. In number 4, we covered glycine. That was half the story. Here's the other half. Collagen is 33% glycine, 22% proline, and 11% hydroxyproline. Those 3 amino acids are the structural backbone of every tendon, ligament, and cartilage surface in your body. Eggs contain almost no proline. They contain essentially 0 hydroxyproline. Your 6-egg protocol is feeding muscle protein synthesis, while your connective tissue, the scaffolding that holds the entire structure together, is slowly degrading underneath it. Here's why this matters specifically after 40. Before 40, your body produces enough collagen to keep pace with the wear from training. After 40, it doesn't. Collagen synthesis slows. Recovery from joint stress takes longer. The micro damage in your tendons and cartilage accumulates faster than it repairs. This is why men over 40 who train hard start feeling it in their knees, in their shoulders, in their lower back. Not because they're old, because they're feeding the muscle and starving the joint. The mechanism: proline is converted into hydroxyproline by an enzyme that requires vitamin C as a direct cofactor. No vitamin C, no hydroxyproline. No hydroxyproline, no functional collagen. The chain breaks at the vitamin C step, which means your entire collagen synthesis process depends on getting adequate vitamin C at the same time as your proline source. Timing matters here. The dose: 10 to 15 grams of collagen peptides or gelatin daily, taken with 50 to 100 milligrams of vitamin C. Take it 30 to 60 minutes before training or before bed. Both windows are active for connective tissue repair. The result: joints that recover between sessions instead of accumulating damage, tendons that can handle progressive overload without breaking down. And this is the part nobody connects: better muscle gains, because you're actually able to train consistently without the joint pain that forces you to back off every few weeks. The man who looks jacked at 45 is not just eating more protein than you. He's maintaining the connective tissue that lets him train hard year after year without breaking down. That's the actual variable. That's what 6 eggs a day is not giving you. Stop treating your joints like a separate problem. They are the foundation of every rep you will ever do for the rest of your life. Feed them accordingly. 7. Zinc and magnesium, the 2 minerals your eggs are underdosing and your body is paying for. 1 egg contains roughly 0.6 milligrams of zinc. 6 eggs gives you 3.6 milligrams. The daily requirement for a man who trains sits between 11 and 25 milligrams. Most active men are running at the low end of that range without knowing it. Zinc is the rate-limiting mineral for testosterone synthesis. Without adequate zinc, the enzymatic conversion of cholesterol into testosterone, the same process the yolk is supposed to support, stalls. You can eat all the yolks you want. If you're zinc deficient, the factory doesn't run. The raw material is there. The machinery isn't. Magnesium is the other half of this equation. It governs over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including the ones that regulate sleep quality, cortisol clearance, and muscle recovery. Men who train hard deplete magnesium through sweat. Most men over 40 are chronically low and have no idea. Here's the joint connection that nobody talks about. Magnesium directly modulates the inflammatory response. Low magnesium means higher systemic inflammation. Higher systemic inflammation means slower joint recovery, more post-training soreness, and the kind of low-grade ache in your knees and shoulders that you've been writing off as just getting older. It's not age, it's magnesium. The dose, 11 to 25 milligrams of zinc daily from food. Oysters are the most concentrated source on the planet. Pumpkin seeds are the cheapest. 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds gets you roughly 2.5 milligrams. Add red meat, shellfish, legumes. Build the baseline from food first. For magnesium, 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed. Glycinate forms specifically because it absorbs better and doesn't wreck your digestion the way magnesium oxide does. 6 eggs gives you neither of these in meaningful doses. The eggs are not the problem. The eggs are just not the complete answer you were told they were. The smarter man in your gym, the one who's been training for 15 years and still looks like it, isn't doing anything exotic. He's covering his bases. Protein, collagen, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, every day, consistently, while everyone else counts eggs and wonders why nothing is changing. The man she notices isn't the one with the most expensive supplement stack. He's the one with the best results. Those are different men. Here's what you do tonight. Not next week, tonight. Keep eating your eggs. They're good. They're not the problem. But add this. Before bed, 1 cup of bone broth or 10 grams of collagen peptides with a small glass of orange juice for the vitamin C. That's your glycine, your proline, your hydroxyproline, and your collagen cofactor in one 3-minute protocol. Your joints start recovering overnight instead of accumulating damage. Tomorrow morning, take your vitamin D3 with breakfast, with fat, not on an empty stomach. This week, add 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds as a daily snack. That's your zinc baseline. No exotic ingredients. No supplement store required. 3 additions. Total cost, under $5 a day. Your joints will start recovering between sessions. Your muscle gains will follow because you'll actually be able to train consistently without the pain forcing you to back off. 1 week. See what happens. Here's the truth. Eggs are not overrated. The advice to eat only eggs is overrated. The fitness industry gave you one tool and told you it was the whole toolbox. It's not. It never was. But there's no money in telling you to drink bone broth and take magnesium before bed. So nobody put it on a thumbnail. Men over 40 are not losing to age. They're losing to incomplete information. The joints ache because the collagen amino acids are missing. The gains stall because the zinc and magnesium are missing. The testosterone drops because the vitamin D is missing. None of this is complicated. None of it is expensive. It just wasn't profitable for anyone to tell you. Subscribe if you want the information they're not selling. Now go eat the yolk.